Hey guys, it's Madison. First YouTube video. Give me video ideas.